The airport buzzed with routine, rolling suitcases, flight announcements, and passengers rushing to their gates, but in a single instant, everything changed. Officer Mark Jensen's K9 partner Rex suddenly froze, ears up, eyes locked on a black suitcase sliding down the belt. Before Mark could react, Rex lunged, barking furiously, teeth bared. Passengers screamed. Officers froze. Fear rippled through the terminal. No one understood what was happening. Security rushed in as the bag tumbled to the floor. "What's wrong, boy?" Mark shouted, pulling him back. But Rex wouldn't budge. He scratched at the bag, teeth bared, refusing to let go. His eyes locked on that one suitcase like he'd found something the human eye couldn't see. Something inside that suitcase wasn't right. "Rex, heel!" Mark commanded, but deep inside he knew better. Rex never made mistakes. Airport staff backed away. The bag looked ordinary, but Rex's instincts were never wrong. At first, everyone thought it was a bomb. Then came the moment that changed everything. When that suitcase was finally opened, what they found inside shocked everyone. Stay with us, because this amazing story will leave you speechless. Before we start, make sure to hit like, share, and subscribe. And really, I'm curious, where are you watching from? Drop your country name in the comments. I love seeing how far our stories travel. The morning rush at LAX International Airport was in full swing. The hum of rolling suitcases and distant flight announcements blended into a steady rhythm, the kind only airport workers could tune out. Amid the controlled chaos, Officer Mark Jensen moved with quiet precision, his trained eyes scanning faces, hands, and luggage. Beside him, his partner Rex, a powerful German shepherd with alert amber eyes, padded gracefully through the terminal. His nose twitched, ears flicking toward every passing sound. They had been a team for 4 years, inseparable, efficient, and trusted. Mark often joked that Rex understood human emotions better than most people. To strangers, he was just a police dog. But to Mark, he was a partner, a protector, and at times, the only one who truly understood the weight of the job. "Easy day so far," muttered Officer Blake, Mark's colleague, sipping his coffee near the baggage carousel. Mark nodded, glancing at Rex. "Yeah, let's keep it that way," he said with a faint smile. Rex's tail swayed once, as if agreeing. Their routine inspection began as always. Random scans, subtle observations, and coordination with security staff. Rex sniffed around luggage belts, weaving between suitcases and passengers with practiced grace. Tourists snapped selfies. Families hugged goodbye. To everyone else, it was just another ordinary day. But for Rex, every scent told a story. Every movement a potential clue. Suddenly, his head jerked toward the conveyor belt near Gate 7. His body stiffened. A deep growl rumbled in his chest. Mark paused mid-step. He knew that sound. The low instinctive warning Rex gave only when something didn't feel right. "What is it, boy?" Mark whispered, his voice tightening. Rex didn't move. His eyes locked onto a particular suitcase, black, medium-sized, rolling slowly toward the pickup zone. Mark followed his gaze, his heartbeat quickening. There was nothing visibly unusual, just another traveler's bag. But Rex's nose flared again, and his growl deepened, echoing faintly against the terminal walls. Mark placed a hand on his leash. "All right, easy. Let's check it out." Passengers glanced curiously as the officer and his dog moved closer. No one yet realized that suitcase would turn an ordinary morning into a national headline. The conveyor belt clanked softly as more suitcases rolled into view, but Rex's focus didn't waver. His growl deepened, reverberating through the air like an approaching storm. Mark tightened his grip on the leash. "Rex, steady," he said under his breath, though his own pulse was far from calm. The German shepherd's muscles tensed, tail rigid, ears locked forward. Then, without warning, Rex lunged, teeth bared, barking ferociously at the black suitcase. The sound shattered the airport's hum. Passengers screamed, stumbling back, clutching their children and carry-ons. A security alarm blared overhead. "Whoa, what's happening?" shouted Officer Blake, spilling his coffee as he ran over. "Stay back," Mark ordered, pulling Rex to heel, but the dog refused to back down. His bark was sharp, desperate, the kind that came from instinct, not training. Something inside that suitcase had triggered him in a way Mark had never seen before. A crowd began to form. Phones were raised. Someone whispered, "Is it a bomb?" The word spread like wildfire through the terminal. Within seconds, fear turned into panic. Passengers fled toward exits, their luggage abandoned. The carousel continued its endless rotation, carrying other bags as if oblivious to the chaos. Mark's radio crackled. Unit 12 report, what's going on in Zone C? He pressed the button. This is Officer Jensen. My K-9s identified a potential threat on a suitcase at Gate 7. I need the bomb squad on standby. Clear the immediate area now. Rex barked again, louder, pawing at the suitcase with sharp precision, as if pointing directly at something specific inside. Mark could see the dog's nostrils flare, his body trembling slightly. Not from fear, but focus. The suitcase tipped over, hitting the floor with a dull thud. Everyone froze. Even Rex paused, his bark cutting off for a second, nose pressed toward the handle. Mark's breath caught. He could almost feel the weight of 100 eyes on him. All right, everyone step back, shouted a sergeant, motioning officers to set up a perimeter. Red tape was stretched across the area. The crowd murmured, whispers blending with the airport announcements that continued mechanically. Flight 209 to Chicago is now boarding. Mark crouched beside Rex, voice low. You sure about this, buddy? Rex didn't look at him, only at the suitcase. Then in one sudden motion he growled again, louder this time, his gaze burning with urgency. Mark's gut twisted. Whatever was inside that bag, it wasn't just metal or fabric. It was something dangerous. Something alive. The security zone buzzed with tension. Officers formed a perimeter around the baggage area as Rex stood rigid, his growls echoing through the sterile hall. The once busy terminal had turned eerily quiet. Just murmurs, clicking cameras, and Rex's heavy breathing breaking the silence. Mark's eyes darted toward the suitcase now lying on its side. Its black shell gleamed under the harsh fluorescent lights. Who owns this bag? He called out. His voice carried authority but also unease. For a moment no one spoke. Then a man stepped forward hesitantly. A tall, middle-aged traveler with neat clothes and a nervous smile. That's mine, he said, voice trembling slightly. Is something wrong, officer? Mark studied him carefully. The man's hands twitched, his gaze shifting between Rex and the bag. Sir, I'm going to need you to step over here, Mark said firmly. The man nodded quickly, trying to appear calm. Of course. It's just clothes, souvenirs. I just landed from Berlin. Rex growled again, low and guttural. His hackles rose, eyes locked on the man. Mark felt a chill crawl up his spine. That's enough, boy, he muttered. But deep down he trusted Rex's instincts more than any human's explanation. 2 officers approached, gloved and cautious. One crouched beside the suitcase while another kept an eye on the suspect. Sir, the officer said, we're going to have to open this bag. The man's face paled. Wait, what? Why? You can't just... Mark cut him off. It's airport protocol. If your bag's clear, you'll be free to go. As the officer reached for the zipper, Rex barked sharply. Once, twice, then stopped, his body coiling tight. The sound froze everyone in place. Mark motioned for the officer to pause. Hold on, he said quietly. Let's x-ray it first. Moments later, a portable scanner was rolled in. The technician positioned it over the suitcase, eyes flicking to the monitor. The outline appeared, a dense core in the center, metallic fragments scattered around it. It's unusual, the technician murmured. Not explosives, but something concealed. Mark's jaw tightened. The suspect swallowed hard, sweat beading on his forehead. Rex stepped forward, nose close to the bag, sniffing rapidly. Then he looked up at Mark and whined, an anxious, frustrated sound. Mark's instincts screamed. Move the bag to containment, he ordered. As the officers carefully lifted the suitcase, a faint metallic rattle came from inside. The man's face drained of color. Whatever was hidden in there, it wasn't ordinary luggage. The containment team arrived within minutes, their heavy boots echoing across the marble floor. The black suitcase now sat isolated behind a protective barrier, marked with bright yellow tape. Passengers had been moved far back, their anxious murmurs mixing with the distant announcements for delayed flights. Rex stood beside Mark, panting softly but never taking his eyes off the bag. His body language had changed, less aggressive now, more alert, like he was waiting for something. The bomb squad technician crouched, sliding a remote-controlled scanner toward the suitcase. Everyone held their breath as the small robotic arm lifted the lid slightly. The monitor flickered with images,